G4 coming and said he has a lot of respect towards Shine, but it's 100% 3-0. And then you could hear some of the players very humble from Axis Empire saying they're here to have fun, they want to stick together, continue playing, but they understand how good Mega is individually and knowing they're at a mismatch. Even G4 himself going as far to say that he didn't expect Axis Empire to be here. He thought it was going to be Win and was very impressed by how Shine dismantled that top lane duo. So what does Axis Empire have left in the tank to find that surprise they might need to give Mega a kick in the butt and say, hey, you know, G4, you said that you're not so confident about Worlds just yet. Well, this is why. Here, have that. If you can't 3-0 us, then ooh, good luck at Worlds, buddy.
Well, let's see here. We're going to get into ban and picks for Game 3. Quick little fun fact, Mega were actually late to decide what side they wanted in Game 3, so Axis actually were able to get choice, and they opted to go in for red side. So want counter picks?
Well done, Mega. You're off to a great start of this this grand finals.
You know, they've had, if anything, they've had the roughest drafts when it comes to LST. They're always the ones losing bans, it seems, because, you know, late to calls. But
You always want red side if you're Axis, in my opinion, because you value that counter pick for Shine so much when you're playing at your best. I really expect to see something incredibly aggressive here coming up from Caspiel. I know his Nocturne's been taken away, but, you know, Elise banned out now, so I think the only real picks left with Olaf, Elise, and Nocturne banned out is probably
makes it through.
Kali makes it through. I really think Caspiel will go towards something. What's another aggressive jungler? Jarvan's okay, probably not the most aggressive. Xin Zhao probably, and then you get Shine on his counter pick top, and you just go, all right. What we did last split was the all eggs in the Shine bucket. Let's see if it happens again.
Let's see here what they want to try and pick up is it's going to be early priority toward the Ezreal. Also going to pick up that Yuumi, so they're saying, all right, Daewoo and Pop were able to do in Game 1. Why don't we?
I like this. They go, let's play Ezreal Yuumi. It's fairly strong. I mean, Nordal's still left open, but Daewoo and Pop showed they could play against it, and they couldn't work their Kai'Sa Rakan against the Varus Tahm Kench. So why not play something that is considered blind pickable and something that does well regardless of the matchup? Can be played, you know, you can play champions that picks into it really well, but should be able to hold its own in that bottom lane. They've had troubles in the bottom lane. They need to find a way to alleviate that. Ezreal and Yuumi could be the way to do it.
Let's see here, though. Daewoo going to have his Kai'Sa now for Game 3, as that's going to get locked in here by Mega.
That's naughty.
And also
that's
with the
naughty.
Rakan. Oh, it's a little naughty.
Oh, boy. Oh, Rakan does so well with Yuumi. I love the little interaction of if Yuumi ever tries to jump out of the champion, Rakan just goes, well, sorry, you're charmed. You're never going anywhere ever again. And Yuumi just becomes a glorified range minion for 3 seconds.
Now here for Axis. Do they wish to pick up in the end of their first phase? They go ahead, get that Aatrox.
Yes!
There you go.
Karina can play Aatrox, and Shine is great on the champion. Just pick up the Aatrox and leave your last pick to wherever you're going to flex it. 72% pick rate in the LST and a 40% ban rate. So many players have had difficulty dealing with Aatrox. From mid laners to top laners to an entire team getting smacked by 3 Qs in a row and dying when they played against Win. I believe that was Armored Project versus Win eSports in one of their last games of the regular season. Oh,
it was a smack.
Oh, it was not safe. Not safe for Worldcast.
Interesting here.
Why did he ban Fiora?
Yeah, we have a Fiora ban actually come out from Axis. It's like, you do know Shine's on your team.
Did they just go pick Fiora and accidentally ban it, forgetting about ban phase 2? Hello?
Oh, boy.
Rocky is not a Fiora player, thank you very much.
Well, we see the respect ban of that Vladimir toward Carino. Carino had a great showing on the Vladimir.
I think it's hit or miss for me. He had a really good game on Vladimir, but I think his overall average gameplay on Vladimir is not that fantastic.
The average for Axis the entire summer here has been not great so far. It's what happens when you do in playoffs.
Been really hit or miss so far for Axis.
And you're hoping now in this deciding game, you need to be hidden, or else series over.
That's a Xin Zhao lock-in. You ban Jarvan here. I think the only champion Caspiel goes towards a Xin Zhao unless he wants to go back on his Kha'Zix once again. And I think with a game at this high stakes, you go for it.
Yeah, Xin Zhao going to get locked in. here from Mega. What do they want to try and respond with? The pool's been stripped away pretty heavily here by both sides. What does Mega want to try and pick up here now for Lloyd as well as Rocky? There's still that opportunity for the counter pick for Shine if they decide to throw that Aatrox into the mid lane for Axis.
I think we'll see a surprise Victor here for Carino. He'll just be like, give me my Victor, please.
Here we
If
go.
it's going to be the last game, give me my Victor.
Irelia going to get locked in for the side of Mega.
Mega always find these top side drafts. It just looks so brutal to play against. Akali, Irelia already. Yeesh.
Let's see.
Oh,
do we see a Scar?
no!
There it is.
What
Gets
is this,
locked
Lloyd?
in. Lloyd being spicy here in last game of possibly the series.
Dale called him a potato, so he probably
He's
just
like, hey,
decided
you
to
know what? I'm
the
going to play
potato
Skarner
champion.
just to prove you wrong.
Proving it right. Playing the potato champion. Press R and drag him backwards. That's your job, Lloyd. Thank you very much.
All right, Axis. We'll see Shurima rise again for Axis as they try and rebuild their empire. Carino in the mid lane going to lock that in as their Game 3 pick. Drafts now locked in. Fish, you look at these. What are you favoring?
I'm actually liking Axis' Empire's draft for once. I think they've got some strong aggression top side. The control mage and mid of Azir will be able to wave clear fairly effectively against the Akali. And with the Skarner being picked up, Axis Empire have some good dueling threats. Skarner can provide some decent damage in the early game and a good CC stun to boot with the mobility assisting him, but the raw damage that comes out from Aatrox Ninja is something you have to be frightened of. And Ezreal as well as Yuumi bottom side should be able to hold their own, but I do think, unfortunately, with the Kai'Sa Rakan pick coming out for Mega side of the map, they're going to be able to shove them into the turret once again. I think it's going to be a repeat of the last two games, bottom side of the map, but we'll have to see if now Caspiel and Shine can put on their big boy carry pants and work around top side of the map a little bit more than game one.
We'll see here. Mega needing only the single victory to hoist the trophy and make their way to Worlds. We'll see as we load on in.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. 30 seconds until minions
Now
spawn.
game 3, Axis find themselves caged. See if they can find their way to freedom. Begin the reverse sweep. Or does Mega look to crush the upstart and make their second international appearance this season?
Disappointing first appearance for Mega, so they're definitely hungry to try and make their way back to the international stage. You know, we have a new roster of Daeul joining the fray. Lloyd is the jungler for the team. Warlock now as head coach. Making their way internationally and proving themselves on the world stage this time. As Axis back against the walls, they've already proven to the world they're capable of going to back-to-back finals. Nobody expected them to get there either time, but they did it. If they want to try and make the run go for a bit longer and have that shot, that chance to make it to the World Championship for the first time for Malaysia, they would have to pick up the game here to try and send it to game 4. And the only time Malaysia's ever won an international game was in Hyperplay Singapore, where they were able to upset Vietnam for the win. And it was a big upset. I mean, one of the shoutcasters from the GPL, the Chris man, said that he would eat a shoe if Vietnam lost, which they lost. He still hasn't eaten a shoe, by the way.
Subtle call out coming out from Fish.
It's been over a year.
He wants to see the shoe.
Yeah, when shoe? Come on.
When shoe.
But if there's ever a time to reference a Malaysian Cinderella story, that was the time. Zorovecki, one of the best Malaysian players we've seen in the longest time. He's played in the LMS as well. He was a part of that roster. In fact, in some of the forums and Facebook posts I've seen, a lot of people have been asking Zorovecki to come back.
See
He
here.
played last split. He was fantastic.
Yeah,
last
he
split.
was. Yeah, he was here in his last split. Don't see the probably projectile connecting there for Chili and Blaze. And see Pop already getting a nice little harass there.
Yumi just doing Yumi things though. Sees the harass coming through, gives Blaze the big old shield. But you just see the difference. Dale and Pop ever so aggressive even when they're up against the Ezreal Yumi, making sure they push their advantage.
There's just a presence in the lane while they're down there. Even in a matchup, you know, where that Recon early on should still get a decent chunk of damage put back onto him. Not afraid to jump in, not even running a heal in that bot lane. It's Ignite coming out for Pop. He's looking for blood. Whereas Blaze and Chili just want to try and farm up here.
Also makes more sense. 80 carries going teleport in all the matches so far.
Ooh, Rocky.
Nice. 80 carries going teleport in all the matches so far, so this is one of the few times you run Ignite because Chili will pick up the heal as an immobile support. Doesn't rely on flash.
Down bot lane though, there it is. That Ignite being used already and Blaze going down to about 150 health.
This is why Mega's bottom lane's just been scary the entire split against every single team except for the 7th place team in the league. And they're showing why again when they play against Blaze and Chili, just keeping them under control in this bottom lane. And it's been a newfound threat for the Thai roster. Pop and Dayul having a fantastic season, and Pop having 2 fantastic seasons now.
Well, I think that's when you look at the matchup as a whole. There's just so much veteranship coming out of Mega here at this point. You got this Thai trio, been to the world stage time again.
And really your only difference is the amount of international experience that Mega has. Remember that a few of these players were from Bangkok Titans, who historically lost 36 games in a row when they first started the GPL. And these Axis Empire players, Caspiel, Karina, they've been around long enough to understand that that was the history of the Thai server. And, you know, Malaysia, they never really had their kickstart. They were always in the shadow of the Singaporean region until recently, where they really stepped up. I think the takedown of Resurgence last split was really the big, you know, the big standout moment where I was like, well, now definitely Malaysia is the #1 between the 2 servers. But they've never really had that international experience. They've never gone to an MSI, a World Championship, barely even, you know, a Rift Rivals play, where we actually saw KLH for the first time go over to Rift Rivals. Had the last Southeast Asian Rift Rivals over in Australia, Sydney, Australia. So then you just look at the rest of the team, international experience all around, but they're going for a big 5 bot.
Blaze decides to go back in with the Arcane Shift, has to flash away. And Dayul and Pop, isn't that Seeker going to connect from Dayul?
Bit of preemptive flash for my liking coming out there from Dayul, from Blaze. Forced Chili to dash back straight away, which means Dayul can throw out the Prey Seeker and get a little bit of extra damage. Is it Prey Seeker? That's Rek'Sai, isn't
That's
it?
Rek'Sai.
What's the W?
It's a Void Seeker.
Void Seeker, there we go.
G4 hits level 6, but meanwhile, Carino does the same in G4. Oh, Castle! Auto attack! Oh, it's First Blood onto the Xin Zhao caster minion MVP.
Once again, LST caster minions coming up clutch this time for Axis Empire. The aggressive play in the mid lane works out for Axis, and they get first blood into G4. Finally, things looking good for Axis in the early game.
And with just that extra little bit of hope, friendship possibly on their side from the minion, coming out clutch, able to secure the kill on the G4. And that allows Axis Empire to strike first, securing a 700 gold lead. Gives a little bit more pressure, Lloyd.
I see the Scorpion.
Sees the Scorpion. Decide to back off here, as Scuttle's going to be trying to be the priority here. We'll see if Lloyd wants to try and interfere. Be walking into a 2v1. He does have the Recon nearby. They might just turn their attention back toward Blaze.
This is the problem when you pick up a Skarner to jungle. The first 6 levels, you're not as effective at ganking, but Lloyd hits level 6 from lane experience.
Oh no, Blaze.
Here
He's
he
walking
comes.
forward. Hello, he gets over to safety. There's the flash forward, and no flash available on the Ezreal means Blaze will fall as Dayul picks up his first kill.
Yeah, and as much as Xin Zhao's able to work wonders in the first 6 levels of the game, if you're Rek'Sai that power farms to 6, you just flash with someone who doesn't have their flash, and it's a free kill no matter what lane you go into. Lloyd tanking some lane experience to take over to that level 6 mark for that cheeky play. And Axis just caught with their pants down, no wards in the bottom lane, not able to spot it out.
So far, so good here. And Mega are able to respond back after that first blood being dropped by Mega. Shine up against Rocky in the 1v1, pops the ultimate. Vanguard's edge used by Rocky, decides not to continue though, as Shine could look to try and heal back up.
Rocky showing that Shine's not the only one that understands the Aatrox matchup in the top lane. Immediately picks up the Executioner's Calling as his first item, which means when Shine gets his level 6 and the power spike that gives him all that healing in his ultimate, Executioner's Calling cuts it in half, making it not as effective. He's able to go toe-to-toe in these fights. Both top laners exchange ultimates. But in a prolonged fight, you're going to have to give it to Rocky now. He's got the Conqueror, whereas Shine's really gone for Grasp of the Undying, so more sustained, but not the best extended skirmishes here for the Aatrox.
And Shine's actually been practically only running Grasp this series. He's often the guy who goes for the solo kills. Most solo kills in LST, just behind Shadow.
He's got one against Rocky.
Yeah. Opting to just be more passive kind of goes in line with his thoughts before the game there, you know. Just maybe not feeling confident in the matchup and wants to play more safe, focus more toward those team fights later on. But we talk about Mega. There's that team fight team along the likes of Liab, where it's really hard to match them.
Look at this play from Mega. They're going to go in.
There we go. Blaze going to get hooked up. Mdeul, he doesn't care if the final chapter's used. He'll just go on the other side. And Blaze gets taken down. Pop's going to get the kill. Teleport going to come in from the side of Axis. Lloyd is there, though, so they have to back off immediately. Look at this, though. Axis, they say, okay, if we're not going to be able to get a return kill, we're going to go ahead and try and focus down the first dragon of Game 3.
But you can just see the difference between Kai'Sa being played by Daeul and Kai'Sa being played by Blaze. Already level 6 hits. Daeul says we got to go for a kill. Press the attack, dive into the back line. Free kill towards Blaze, even without the jungler coming down. Super well played coming out from Mega's 80 carry and support. Another 20 CS lead. Another one bottom lane without too much jungle pressure. For the first time, we actually see Lloyd giving them a single kill to start that one. Mega, although losing their mid lane very early on, or G4 getting ganked very early on, they're still in firm control of this game. 10 minutes in, 1,000 gold lead.
And there we go, Daeul going to head back to base. And again, that experience, that skill gap, it just seems to be there in this bot lane. We haven't really mentioned, though Daeul not on the international stage as far as MSI or Worlds, has played and Rift Rivals before, so it does have that international experience interregionally. Rift Herald has spawned. We'll see whether or not Mega want to try and rush that. Pop's already making his way up toward the top side of the map. We'll see. Caspel spots him out and try and get rid of the ward coverage being laid down. You do have Shine coming down, so Pop should be able to get back to safety. Just trying to contest here for the scuttle. So it is secured in the end here by Axis. Top lane actually be showing here from the side of Axis. There's a lot of priority being put up toward the Rift Herald.
Blaze's teleport is not quite off of cooldown just yet, so he won't be able to just immediately go back bot for all the CS, so sacrificing a big wave in order to get Blaze in this team fight.
Lloyd, here comes Rocky, though. 2 teleports going to be popped. Vanguard's edges on to Shine. 3 members walk through. Caspel wants to go back. Shine gets over to safety, and Axes are separated. Now Pop and Rocky caught in the middle. Carino comes in with the Emperor's Divide. Shine gets taken down on the backside. Mega, though, running for the hills onto the top side, but here comes Daeul on the Kai'Sa, able to help find one. Dives into the back line with the Killer Instinct, and Carino now the next target. Chili gets back to safety underneath the tower. But it's just 4 kills.
For how long, Opal? For how long?
He's got nowhere to run. The kitty's down. It's the ace for Mega in Game 3.
What a big fight coming up from Mega. It was Axis to try to set that one up proactively, even bringing Blaze and Chili from the bottom lane. Not only did they lose the fight, they lose all that experience bottom side of the map. The only thing they get from that was a Rift Herald, and Mega just play it beautifully. Collapsing on the right target, separating G4 so he has a single target he can assassinate. All the way down to Rocky, blocking skill shots for his low health team members to turn when Kai'Sa was in range and when key abilities were back off of cooldown. Beautiful stuff coming out from Mega.
And with that. First break gold, gonna go over to Mega. They actually even leave that for Rocky in top lane, realizing Dayul's already got such a massive advantage. Might as well give some gold over to that Aurelia as well. Meanwhile, mid lane, Axis are going to try and knock down the first tier tower. Lloyd taking a decent chunk of damage. That's True Shot Barrage coming out. It's going to force out a flash. Shelly still walking away on toward that tower.
Here he
Rocky
comes.
towards the
Rocky.
side, though. Doesn't have Vanguard's edge, so he can't go for the marked targets. In the end, though, Shelly gets taken down. Turret's still standing here for Omega.
Well, they get some damage to the mid lane out of the turret, but that's all they get with their Rift Herald push, and we see that fight again. Double teleport will come in from both Dayul as well as Rocky. Rocky even goes back to base to replenish his health mana and pick up a final item before committing. Then it's just a matter of this team is locked inside this pit. Pop gets a beautiful 3-man charm. And from there, Shine's forced to separate. G4 gets that single target, so he gets the kill. And then it looks like it's going well for Axis, but Dayul's just timing it to wait before they commit to dive into the back lines. Pop goes down, and as soon as Axis disengage, there goes Dayul for the cleanup. It's just simple plays at the end of this. Beautifully executed come up. Mega, they're going again, Opal.
It's not over just yet. Caspiel trying to run to safety. Emperor's Divide. He's burned, and Caspiel will survive. G4 looking for it, though. Finds it with the active on the Gunblade. That'll be another kill. Exhaust finally going to be used here. Lloyd still hunting, but he gets back to safety. Meanwhile, Rocky solo kills Blaze in top lane.
4,000 gold of elite being picked up by Mega, and Blaze, my friend, my buddy, you've got no business being in the solo lane against either Akali or Irelia or even Kai'Sa at this point. You need your Yuumi next to you and a few other people there too. Uneven mismatch fight being picked up by the Dragon Pit coming out there from Mega. Although Axis gets some nice turret plates for themselves using that Rift Herald, unfortunately the lead is just way too large at this point in the game.
See here, G4 gonna shuriken away, gets a little bit of damage in the mid lane, but overall it's a 4,500 gold lead. Mega looking to add on top of that here with the second tower in bot now being taken. And Dayul gonna get even more gold into his pocket. 3-0 and 4 with a 30 CS lead. Carino in this mid lane has been able to find opportunities though against G4, but the rest of his team is crumbling around him.
I mean, Carino's been able to farm 135 CS in this mid lane to assist in a single death. He's been able to do fine. He was even able to contribute to the kill that Caspiel died for very early on in the match. But unfortunately, Azir really needs to scale. Oh, Blaze. Oh, no.
Blaze,
Friend.
this is what happens when you're down 3
Friend,
levels.
you had a ward there.
What?
There was a control ward in that tri-brush, Blaze. Buddy.
Oh, boy. Oh.
Well, the whole time he's in stasis, Rocky's like, great, more time to farm these minions. Thank you very much.
And he gets his passive stacks and then just rips them apart more.
Oh, no.
Oh, yikers.
Whoops.
That.
Mistakes were made.
A lot of mistakes have been made here. And let's take a look at the gold graph. 6,000 gold we're creeping on for Mega before 20 minutes. And you heard during that interview, all they need to do, not make any mistakes. They do that here. They should be booking their ticket to the World Championship. Dayul also now picks up his Rage Blade on top of Berserker. He's got like 3 items in his pocket already before 20 minutes.
And this scares me thinking about the World Championship. No, sorry, it doesn't scare me. Scare me is the wrong word. This gives me some hope going into a World Championship if Mega become the representatives. One, the only thing that changed about their roster was Dayul going into AD carry, Lloyd in the jungle, and then Warlock as a coach. These are all great changes in my opinion. Team looks really solid. Axis made some great changes themselves. Shine starting in the top lane. The only real difference is Blaze coming as an AD carry. Chili was Zaire from the last split. The entire time I thought it was Zaire's brother, but they're identical twins, and I keep mixing the two up. And I was told Zaire went to university. Just a name change coming out for Chili there. And you just compare this match to last split's grand finals. It's night and day. In last split, Game 1 and Game 3, Axis looked like they were going to take that decisively. And it was fighting tooth and nail for Mega to find their way back into those games. But these past 3 games, this match point included, have been complete stomps coming out from Mega. 5,000 gold up 16 minutes in. So I think these changes that Mega have made this split, positive changes, have impacted them drastically. And then you look at their performance at MSI and say, well, if that was their performance of a roster, that barely went toe-to-toe against Axis, the underdogs of last split. And then they come into summer. Similar roster, didn't change too much, but the changes they made were big improvements to the team. You have to say, going into Worlds, going into play-ins this split, they must feel a little bit more confident.
And on top of that too, because we had the format change, we also encouraged them to play against, you know, stronger teams within the LST a little bit more frequently.
Correct.
We didn't have that just single one-off tournament where every team comes in together. No, they had to go against Win. They had to go against Liab during a regular season here and there, and they play against even second-tier teams from their own region. So hopefully there's not as much as that power funnel that you sometimes have when it comes to these more, you know, wild card regions.
I know a lot of the fans were really upset because the first game of the season was Win taking on Mega. And everyone thought when they saw the brackets, that's going to be the grand finals. Axis Empire, the underdogs, denying Win their slot in the grand finals after losing game 1 in the semifinals. So no one will be able to see that matchup, at least for this season.
See possibly on the next iteration come next year, but you're focused now here on this match. If you're Axis, what do you have to do to try and force now a game 4 when you're looking at this situation?
Oh, you've got to find a pick using the Yuumi Sinjao comp. It's actually really strong. Sinjao puts out his ultimate and now no one can attack him beyond that ring. And Yuumi just such a good champion to play around that ability, throwing out the ultimate to lock people down just outside of range, or potentially, you know, keeping people outside of the ring so Sinjao can assassinate one target. You really want to try and find one player out of position, but it's just so difficult. Who are you trying to attack? Aurelia is almost untouchable, has the Trinity Force complete. Akali is almost untouchable as well. Incredibly strong at the moment.
Yeah, this is pre-nerf Akali because we are on 9.116, so ultimate hasn't been nerfed. Oh, they didn't actually hit G4 there. Now they're going to see the shadow. Decide to back off immediately.
On top of that, I mean, Daeul's just so far ahead. Rageblade, Manamune already complete. He has a stopwatch. The next team fight that takes place, Daeul's going to go into the back lines and just destroy Blaze and Chili. Because as soon as Yuumi tries to ult him or exhaust him, he just pops stopwatch and says, that's fine. Just wait for the rest of my team to slowly make their way through your front line. Or potentially even he can start a fight in the back lines, and if he gets caught out too far, stopwatch, then dive into the back line himself. Let's just be a simple dragon pickup coming out from Mega.
Find themselves the Mountain Drake, second dragon for them this game. They're picking up the Cloud Drake earlier. Axis want to try and use this opportunity to try and force this mid lane tower down. So get a little bit of control back into the midsection of the map as our Baron now joins us at 20 minutes.
And that's the right move. You back away. You don't really have an opportunity to take Baron here, so you give them the Mountain Dragon and you push for an objective yourself. This is actually not too bad for Axis. If they can see the gold themselves, they understand it's just 2 players with a 2,000 gold lead each, so if you can somehow obliterate Rocky and Daeul, you suddenly have a very even fight on your hands. But saying that is one thing. Actually achieving it is a whole other. You can see the difference between Daeul's Ezreal and Blaze's Ezreal again. Daeul going for the Trinity Force, going for the damage. Blaze forced on towards the Side Spawn Gauntlet.
Vision coming out from Axis, going to try and line their jungle for some safety. Avoid being picked off themselves. You can see though Daeul also looking to build toward that Nashor, so going to have a bit of burst added into that kit as well.
Yep, and that's exactly what you want with this build. Manamune, when it stacks up to Mirror Mana, all 5 procs apply on Kai'Sa's Q. Then Rageblade makes your passive stack twice as fast, and your passive dealing ability power damage. Gives you more damage when you stack it twice as fast going towards Nashor's Tooth, giving you the attack speed to stack it faster as well. And furthermore, just amplifies so many of our other abilities. So her W being a nice big nuke when you get ability power. And then her dive potential is so much stronger too because of how her ultimate scales on ability power, giving her a bigger shield. So it's just such a strong burst, dive, heavy build that Kai'Sa players have found for themselves. Very unorthodox when you think about any other character in League of Legends. Manamune and attack speed doesn't really mix.
With that, they're going to keep on pressuring this mid lane. Blaze actually going for the Iceborne here, so.
And this is the power spike. Miramana is complete for Kai'Sa. This next team fight is going to be brutal. She can dive into the back lines.
Whew. Even get a tag there. That gets Blaze down 300. Big one here for Axis, whether or not Carino can survive during these fights. You're really hoping for this Azir to carry. But he can't get caught out. Here's the engage. Double stun from G4. That's just a wombo combo from hell coming through. Mega obliterate Axis Empire in mid lane.
Have you ever seen an initiation of Kali? Well, there it is right there. G4 setting up the play for Pop to follow up with the actual crowd control. And Daeul from Fog of War just flies on out to get all those kills. 4 players from Axis Empire dropping like flies. Beautiful setup from Mega.
And like that, instantly gonna pop down the Baron as well. And that was just a statement made by Mega with that single play.
This has been a statement series, from playing against the aggressive early comp to this last 2 games shellacking. G4 sets this up with a Kali's mini stun to allow Pop to come in for the triple knock-up charm. Unbelievable play.
Shine just a little bit too late to the party.
A Kali stun's not even a full stun, it's a mini stun.
It's a mini, it's a quarter-second stun. And it did get removed on the last patch, but you're still on 9-16 here in playoffs. So just no respect there, no vision laid out by Axis. And getting just a little too confident in that mid lane now costs them dearly here in the game that they have to win to extend the series. 13-2, a 10,000 gold lead incoming now for Mega. And this Baron buff still very healthy for the next 2.5 minutes. See on the player cams there, Chili getting a little bit heated. And there's your initiation tag. The target Blaze only surviving because of Yuumi. True Shot Barrage is going to be laid out, but they just bring back the Xin Zhao into the fray. And like that too, Ezreal gets taken down by G4. Mega starting to rotate toward top.
Yeah, Daeul just sees an opportunity, goes in and almost hundreds to nothing. Ezreal with Yuumi on top of him.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
Sorry, Aatrox, you're not long for this world. No revive for you anymore. Short work with the top laner as well.
Teleport coming in from Daeul as well. He wants to end this series. He's hungry for Worlds at this point. Wants his ticket to Europe. And now Inhibitor Tower in mid lane falls. Inhibitor will crumble next to it. And Axis, unfortunately, the Miracle Run looks to have been stopped here. Short of even a single game win. Now 2 inhibitors down, 25 minutes. A 12,000 gold lead, and a determined Mega.
In complete Mega fashion as well, not pushing for the win right here and there, saying, you know what? Our coach just taught us, after you take 2 turrets, we go back to base. Which is exactly what Mega have done. They go back and spend all the gold they picked up from this Baron power play. They still have a minute left to work with it. And now they're just going to make their way through either mid lane, top lane, or potentially even knock down all the inhibitor turrets first. But that's a Zhonya's being picked up by Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa can literally tag anyone with her Void Seeker. Just dive on in, auto attack a couple of times to get the proc, and then Q as well for all that damage, and they're probably going to die.
And you see Rocky, he's got GA at this point. He can turn this, I think. Gets the double stun there. That's going to be QSS being burned immediately there by Cashflow, but still, the damage is there, the true.
Where did he
go?
go?
They just delete him. Rocky's playing with his food at this point. It's a 1v3. Meanwhile, bot lane's being pushed in. Sure, you can use the Emperor's Divide, but Rocky is insufferable. And here comes G4 with the Gunblade, and Rocky is just dancing on their graves. G4 triple kill on top.
Unbelievable. Rocky just holds them there to set up
no.
G4. What is this play?
G4 trying to be fancy, misses the shuriken. Daeul, though, he says, come here, Blaze. If you don't want to go to Worlds, I for sure do. Ace comes through, 21-3, and Mega dominate spring. Come back here in summer and lock into a ticket to the World Championship in Europe.
3-0 in decisive fashion against Axis Empire. Well-deserved finish coming out from Mega. And unlike the Spring split, there were no hiccups. Wasn't an undefeated split like Spring, but they definitely looked dominant. Only dropping their first series against Win and a single game against Axis Empire. You'd have to say, some people thought Win were favorites, but over the course of the split, Mega just looked more and more dominant and proved their dominance in the grand finals.
And for Axis, the Cinderella story comes to an end here. A 3-0 for Mega, as they are your LST 2019 Summer Champions and will represent the region at the World Championship starting in October.
Just a moment to talk about Axis Empire before we go on the Mega hype train and their journey to Worlds. I mean, hats off to them. Spring split, no one expected them to make it out of the qualifiers.
Yeah.
Qualifiers, they had to go up against Resurgence and obliterated them, making themselves the representatives of Singapore and Malaysia. No one expected them to take down Liab, which they did. No one expected them to put up a fight against Mega in Spring Split. They did. And that's how Shine got his starting position.
There was a chance that they weren't even going to qualify for playoffs.
Correct. And then you come into this split, disastrous split, upset against Detonator in the playoffs, upset against Win eSports, the favorites of the tournament, and then they give it all they've got against Mega. And the whole time you can hear the interviews to them. You know, they're happy to play together. Players just want to stick together. They know that they've got their number matched to by Mega. Caspiel saying he really wants to represent Malaysia at the World Championship. You know, as much as we can, you know, tear apart their play style and their play, they fought their hardest here. And congratulations to making it all the way grand finals. Second place, still something to be proud of. But we have to talk about Mega because that was a complete dismantling of Axis Empire in the grand finals. 3 sets and looked like they barely even broke a sweat.
Yeah. New and improved Mega when it comes to summer here. The old guard now gets to return to the international stage with Rocky, Lloyd, and G4. Daewoo finally gets his ticket to the World Championship, and Pop now gets his opportunity once again to try and prove himself as a top-class support. And
again, the changes. Lloyd going into jungle from AD carry position. Warlock now as the coach with some experience learning from, you know, Cabbage, Big Fafa. Now the head coach of the team, and Daewoo coming in as the best AD carry that the LST has seen, I would say, since Bebe. Since we saw Bebe play from TPA, he is definitely one of the best AD carries we've seen in this league so far.
Yeah, this is back toward this Rift Herald or Axis.
Oh, this was beautiful. They just tear apart this team fight so well, Opal. Double teleports coming in, keep them occupied. Shine gets split off from the team immediately, and that just means Akali gets a free kill, being able to separate the squad. And then the follow-up is just so clean. Dale buying some time. Pop and Rocky saying, I need to tank up some damage. Lloyd saying, I need a kite. Just waiting for Dale to get in, getting that first kill, and then diving in to clean it up. Beautiful play.
Nicely done there. And that was also the ace coming through. It was Chili. Couldn't even hide underneath the towers. G4 hunted him down. He's being sent back to the Poundfish. And that was the early ace coming out from Mega.
Why can't we get that last fight? That was brutal.
That was
1-on-3 coming out from Rocky buying time for G4 to get in. Then that cute teleport play between the 2 places.
He almost got it too. He almost got that shuriken at the end.
At that point, you run towards the Akali because you can't cancel teleport.
Yeah, you can't cancel teleport anymore. I don't. Maybe forgot about that. Been a while since it's like the, you know, the runner between the 2 bases in baseball. You don't know where you go and you feel like you're lost there. But damage shows that Daewoo and Rocky coming in huge this game. Insurmountable gold lead. And it just didn't feel like there was any life there left from Axis, as Pop are going to be your MVP for Game 3.
Yeah, some people could argue that G4 set it up really well, and he had that fantastic mini stun play, but Pop was just clinical in today's match, setting Daewoo up for success and capitalizing and punishing every single team fight. They said no matter if he was initiating, they were initiated upon, or if it was G4 jumping in with a mini stun. Well played from Pop, and I'm excited to see him return to the international stage. Again, last split was his first split with the team. He now has one underneath his belt, and now he's ready for his second international appearance.
Yeah. Again, rocking his Rakan, looking good like he did some of the days back in Korea.
No more emergency trips to the hospital.
No more emergency trips at all. So for that, Mega get themselves locked in, and they'll be joining these
Zip.
teams you guys see. All the teams finally qualified. Lec will be deciding their seeding later today, but no matter what happens, Fnatic and Splice will be there. So those are your teams for the World Championship now in 2019. And there are some stacked rosters they're going to have to go up against. They have a climb to go through. Of course, they have qualified for only the play-in stage, but you have to start somewhere. And you know what? A lot of people were favoring them in spring at MSI to make it out of their group. They failed at their expectation this time around, though. I think they have tougher competition.
I really want a group of Mega taking on Gigabyte Marines and Mammoth.
Ooh.
Oh, that would be so much fun. You know, the VCS splitting away from the region.
You just have the Pacific Rumble
yes. And that not so ancient, but, you know, not so recent rivalry of Oceania taking on the LST back when, you know, the Chiefs were constantly trying to take down the Bangkok Titans in international wildcard qualifiers and coming close, smashing them in the group stages and then not being able to take it home in the grand finals. Gigabyte Marines, Tinnekun leading that roster. Oh, they looked so, if you thought this was a demolishment of a grand finals.
Looked at Game 3 yesterday.
Oh, watch the VCS grand finals. They had like 40 kills or something.
40 kills. They were playing with their food at 20 minutes.
It's unbelievable. So that's the grouping I want to see. There's a lot of history and a lot of great players. Levi playing for the Gigabyte Marines as well.
Yeah, and even seeing some new faces back at the World Championship. You got Clutch Gaming. They were able to make that miracle run.
Yep.
Through the gauntlet there. Going to be under Dignitas too as well. Get to see Dignitas back at the world stage too.
Yep.
It's
Hong Kong Assassins being led by Coach Chowie, who used to be in the LST himself, so that's going to be fun to watch. And lots of really big name teams. Excited for this World Championship. Not too far around the corner. Yeah,
you got to now players all kind of have a little bit of downtime here. Everybody gets to go do their boot camp back over in Europe, it seems, after, you know, the MSI performance for the region. Established them as the top region at the time. So got everybody going to join over there, and then it's going to be the battle in Berlin for the play-ins, and then we'll get to the finals in Paris.
Yeah, this is going to be fun because MSI this year, you know, it was Europe against North America. One of the few times I've seen an all-Western Grand
That
Finals.
was just weird enough.
Since I believe Season 1,
yeah,
we've never seen a Western Grand Finals before in international tournaments. So
yeah,
it's going to be a lot of fun to see what happens in the Small Championship. Excited for Mega.
Well, thank you guys for tuning on in. From the production team, from myself and Fish, thanks for watching, and we'll hopefully see you next year.